Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ben Wheeler. I'm a local realtor in Northwest Wisconsin. Today I am with Mike from Supreme Lending, and we're going to talk a little bit about some lending option that is a pretty good program, especially for the state of Wisconsin because it's tailored to the state of Wisconsin. It is the WHEDA program, and I'll let Mike introduce himself and we'll go from there.
Hi, thanks, Ben. I'm Mike with Supreme Lending. And yeah, I actually, last 3 years, I grew up in northwestern Wisconsin and recently had moved back from the Twin Cities area. And I was looking at the local, the statewide bond programs for the state of Wisconsin.
Sure.
And I noticed that there is a program in Wisconsin for first-time home buyers, but it's not really talked about in this area that much. If you go down to southern Wisconsin near Milwaukee, around there, they talk about it all the time. And it's called a WHEDA program. They're done with conventional and FHA loans.
Okay.
And it's for first-time home buyers. There is an income limit, but it seems like most people in our area would probably qualify for that limit.
Sure.
You can go as low as 3% down, and you can also get down payment assistance on either a monthly payment basis or if you qualified for it on a deferred basis where you don't have a monthly payment.
So that monthly payment, is that like a different loan then?
It'd be considered a second lien
Sure.
for the down payment assistance.
Okay.
And yeah, you would have that paid off in 10 years. The biggest perk, though, to this program is the interest rate. So if we locked in a WHEDA conventional loan today, you would be locking in at 6%.
Which is, today is February 28th, which rates right now are probably closer to 7%.
So you're roughly saving 1% on interest rate.
Wow.
As a first-time home buyer perk. So quite honestly, if you qualify for this program, there isn't a bank in town that's going to beat that interest rate for you to get into a house.
That's pretty sweet.
The down payment assistance, you can get up to 6% of the purchase price on a monthly payment basis.
Yep.
The deferred one is up to $7,500.
Okay.
And again, the down payment itself is as low as 3%.
Sure.
So it's really trying to get people into properties and being a homeowner so they can start gaining wealth.
So how does that compare to a USDA loan, let's say?
Yeah, it'd be very similar to a USDA loan as far as the loan terms itself.
Sure.
USDA, you can finance up to 100%, but with WHEDA, you can get that down payment assistance.
So you are basically financing 100%?
Correct.
Okay.
But here's where the WHEDA program would take over the USDA program in this highly competitive market where there's limited inventory.
Yes.
List agents, sellers are worried about appraisals, and some of the government loans are a little bit more strict on appraisals.
Yep, they require more things.
100%. So the WHEDA program is a conventional program. So if you're doing a conventional loan, it's a conventional appraisal, which is music to a list agent's ears when you're, bidding on a property.
Yeah, and as a listing agent, or I've been a listing agent many a times, conventional is the financing that most properties want to see come through. It just makes it easier because there's less restrictions.
Right, and with WHEDA, it's basically conventional, and it is conventional.
Sure.
But it's got all the bells and whistles for a first-time home buyer.
Wow, that's
low
really
interest
cool.
rate, down payment assistance, and it's a statewide program. So, the state is not pulling the wool over people's eyes. It's They insure it, they back it.
Definitely, that's awesome. So, I know there's income restrictions. What other restrictions or qualifying things are there?
You just simply need to be a first-time home buyer, which means you haven't been on title of a house for the last 3 years.
Okay.
And then there is an income limit, an upper limit. I can't really state the limit because it's different in each county.
Yep.
So Milwaukee's going to, down in Milwaukee's going to be a higher limit than we have up here.
Yep.
But if you're under the limit, you qualify.
Okay.
It's just quite as simple as that. I'm looking at doing my second one up here in Polk County. And again, it's a 6% interest rate. The other thing I didn't mention, the mortgage insurance is also reduced on these programs because it is a bond program. So, it's the lowest payment you can get on a conventional loan
because in the state of Wisconsin. That PMI really can add up when you're looking at other loan programs.
100%.
It can really add to that payment, and then over time, it really adds up. So if you can get in a reduced rate for that,
absolutely,
it really makes sense, especially for a first-time home buyer to go to that, try to get to that WHEDA program.
Yeah, you're getting rewarded for being a first-time home buyer. Is basically what's going on. And that's a good thing. They want people to start building wealth, own their own houses. And, in a limited market, this can be a nice tool to get into a house.
Yeah, very cool, because you can get that conventional loan style of sorts, but you can still potentially get that down payment assistance, and you can get really what matters for that first home buyer is getting that rate.
It's the interest rate.
It could be better,
It gives you more buying ability. So
your buying power is increased and makes it better.
Absolutely. So you're not going to be worried so much if a house goes 5,000 over and now you don't qualify. It helps keep your debt ratio down to where you do qualify. And then it's just an enticing rate. I mean, and if rates go down, the WHEDA rate will go down. So if all of a sudden standard conventional is out to 6.5, more than likely that WHEDA rate's going to be 5.5.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, there's always going to be a benefit to look at it. And quite honestly, from a loan officer's point of view, if a client qualifies for it, I mean, it's really our job to get them that. There's no sense in doing a different loan if somebody qualifies for it.
If you can get a better rate all day long, that's what you as a buyer want to do.
Exactly. And then as far as making your offers, it's a conventional offer.
And
so
you're
just as strong as a standard conventional offer.
That's really cool, because when we go to write an offer on a property for you as a first-time home buyer, we write what type of loan within the offer. So that seller is going to see that, and they can get discouraged. They shouldn't, but they can get discouraged by some types of financing. And this would make it that conventional style. And really, there's just less things that can come up.
Right. If you have two offers on a house and it's the same offer, but one is doing USDA, FHA, and one is doing conventional, the conventional is going to get that offer.
They're going to win all day long. Yeah. Conventionals will always win if it's the same money.
Right. Exactly.
Very cool.
So just trying to spread the word on WHEDA. It's a great program. Like I said, you go down to Green Bay, Milwaukee, realtors, loan officers, they talk about it all the time. It's just not as prevalent up here, but we can do it up here. We can do it just like they do it down in southern Wisconsin. And it's just, we want our customers and the people up here to take advantage of this program.
Yeah, definitely, because it's statewide.
Yep, absolutely.
Very cool. What's the best way to get a hold of you, Mike?
Yeah, certainly reach out. My cell phone number is 612-247-2006. Don't let the number fool you. I do live in Polk County in Luck, Wisconsin there.
He's local.
And then you can also reach out to mike.cardenas@supremelending.com. And there's no cost to talk to us, get you pre-approved, or go through your stuff. We don't charge anything up front, and we'd love to hear from you.
And I'll make sure to look down on the comments or the description below, and I'll have Mike's contact information. If you are a first-time home buyer, the WHEDA program might be a good avenue for you to explore and to get into that first home, because getting into that first home is really just that first step of building long-term stability, wealth. There's just so many benefits to it. And if you can qualify and you can afford it, I always recommend people purchase a home.
Absolutely. And I was telling somebody the other day, I wouldn't have the house I live in right now if I wouldn't have bought the house that I bought my very first home, 10 years ago. And sometimes I think people need to think about that. Not everything is forever, but if you buy that first house, you're starting to build wealth, and it gives you options
down the road,
5 and 10 years down the road. If you want to upgrade, move, whatever, you've got a lot of options.
It's just about taking that first step. I remember our first home was definitely a fixer-upper home. It was not something that some family members, let's say, would want you to live in, but it was great because we got to start building that equity.
And you'll never forget that first home.
Definitely. All right. Well, thanks, Mike, for coming in, and thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Take care.
Thanks.